What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing all right. Got into an accident yesterday with I live up in the mountains. I had a little run-in with a deer, messed up the front of my truck a little bit, so a couple $100 worth of damages, and I'll be fixing that myself. So it busted up the grill and damaged the radiator, but it ran off. So hopefully it's okay. Let's take this out. I'm not happy about it. Um, but it happens. That's part of mountain living. So there we are. Oop, and we're good. So yes, we are airborne right now. We've been working on sprucing up the base a little bit. Made a couple changes. Some roofing that I wanted to add in right here, and some pillar work, and trying some new things with the exterior a little bit. Just playing around. Busy work. Speaking of busy work, we have this to do. I need to get some extra skill points. So that's going to be a focus tonight. Don't know how much farther we really want to push this. I mean, obviously, the idea is to get these to level 100s all the way, but 45, 28, 51, 57, and 14 got a new spread. Have not been back to the new area since. I mean, just didn't come up. How many things do I have? Tradies won again, so hooray. Look at this. Good job, Harkonnens. Good job. We got 6. And a timer that doesn't mean anything. This is something I don't like. I don't have a problem with the way it works. It's just, it never seems to be strong enough on the opposing side. I've only been to a couple servers, so. But 11 to 1, plus we've already got the 5 in a row. And we're probably going to get another 5 in a row, and that. When it comes down to it, if you're a fan of Dune lore, there are no good guys. I guess in the first book, the Fremen could be considered good guys because they're just trying to live their lives. Everybody else is impeding on them. But then after that, there's just no good guys. So, no, Atreides are not the good guys. They're just Paul's the focus of the movies. So, really doesn't make much of a difference. It's kind of an implied antagonistic relationship. In the lore, they don't like each other. It's a load of crap. I mean, come on. I'm all for holding a grudge, but you're telling me that the whole reason they hate each other is because one guy embarrassed another guy, called him a coward 10,000 years ago? Get real. Come on. Let it go. Can Elsa that shit. Holy crap. I'll hold a grudge, but damn. Anywho. But it just makes for better gameplay when you've got an equal amount of activity over here. I remember in the early days of playing this, it used to be that way. And it would go back and forth. Harkonnen would win one week, Atreides win the next, etc. And they bounce back and forth. And, you would see red and green look like Christmas up in this place. But it's been so long since I've seen a... We only just got to 1-0. We might get to 2-0. I hope. I don't know. So, it's one of the problems that you have with the design of the game. I'm not saying Funcom screwed it up, but this is designed for House Atreides and House Harkonnen to battle it out for points and the favor of different houses and all that. And what occurs when one side favors numbers? They did create it so that, when you lose the next week, you get more points trading in. So I don't know if that translated to this new system to where, you do a mission here. I do this and I get 1,000 points. But if we lose a week, do we get more the next week? This way it used to be. It used to be, let's just, for ease of numbers, I always do that. You should just assume I'm going to go with ease of numbers. But let's say you turned in a material to the house and you got 1,000 points from them. If you lost the week before, you might get 1,100 points instead of 1,000. So it's kind of built to give you a bonus. But what it can't do is overcome this. I mean, and if you're giving out bonus points, if just by the numbers, and I'm not saying anything about individual people here. I don't think I'm trying to criticize saying one side's better than the other. But if they don't have the manpower over here to turn this board red, so you give them bonuses, they'll win eventually. But then it's just going to go right back. Because if the bonus is what's giving them, hey buddy, if the bonus, now it's all bright in here. If the bonus is what's giving them the ability to win when they lose that bonus, guess what? So is it going to be, Harkonnen wins, and then for 4 weeks it's straight Atreides wins until the bonus is so high that the few people playing over here. I'm not a developer, so I don't know how to fix it. I mean, you can't just randomize it like I'm on this side this week and then all of a sudden I'm over here with a whole bunch of other people that are just, mix and matching. I mean, because, I'm in a guild and it makes sense to work with my guild mates. So if you work to keep them together, so the guilds stay together, well, I think having 2 teams is not going to get it done. It's going to create situations like this. Now, I've heard on other servers that they'll see a better spread. So, I don't know. But I went from a very low population server to a middle type population server, maybe like a low high, mid low. And it's pretty much the same. I don't know. Great idea. Just didn't stand the test of the real world. Hi. Can I help you? What's the matter? You have nothing. You're going to hurt me. He's going to hurt me, guys. Yeah. Okay. That was there. Would you like to comment on the Atreides Harkonnen side of things? This rabbit is working tonight, so of course I'm on babysitting detail. My experience, a lot of hardcore guilds are solos. Yeah, exactly. Same thing. It's 1 or 2 people. They just simply don't have the manpower. I think... Okay, you gotta go, okay? Thanks. You can close the door for me. That would be great. I think it's kind of self-sabotaging as well. I mean, the minute that you allow me as an Atreides person to just spend double Solari or whatever it is to get all of the things that, all the color schemes and variants that Harkonnen has. They never should have done that. You should have had one or the other. Now, me personally, I'm flying still, so let's not run out of fuel. Oh, we're great. The Atreides, speaking on opinion here, the Atreides Scout Ornithopter looks like crap. I hate it. I used it for like a week and I was like, yeah, I don't like this thing. I just don't like it at all. The Harkonnen variant, way cooler. Way cooler. But I also think that the Atreides Assault looks really cool. Too bad it's a piece of crap and I just use it as storage transportation. But I love the way the Harkonnen, or the Atreides looks over the Harkonnen Assault. And I can have both. So, and I can have the color schemes, the swatches. I could turn this Atreides green or I could make it Harkonnen black. They should have kept that separate. It would have been more of an incentive. And, it hurts me because I do have some Harkonnen stuff in here. While we're here and I'm talking about that, somebody, Baron, get a shout out, told me to put the Harkonnen light above this area and it makes the stuff below it kind of have a glow to it, which it does. Unfortunately, I've got 4 chandeliers sitting around it, so it just bleeds everything out. Not that plates are going to be the total draw. Hold on a second, guys. Time of day gets a lot of light coming from that side of the house. Cat invasion. And yeah, unfortunately for the Harkos, not everyone wants to affiliate with the bad guys in the story. The heroes, then you just have the real Harkos who join Atreides for the win. Yeah. Read the lore, man. Everybody's a bad guy. Everybody. I took Atreides because I like green. It's my favorite color. That's about the extent of it. Yeah, I got like, but who knows? They never should have let us have the best of both worlds. So that way, if you really wanted the Harkonnen look with the armor, the characters, the swatches, then you're a Harkonnen. So let's go ahead and talk about the whole point and the title of the thumbnail. As I said before, we were potentially moving servers. Ours was locked. Pellucidar was my old home server. And it was a very low population, low stuff going on. I'd only see a set amount of people, the same people. So the guild decided that it would be smart to send out some scouts, which it absolutely was. You want to send out scouts because you can read a Reddit post or look on a Discord or whatever, and you can get kind of a semi-version of what a place is going to be like. It's the real world. Good God. And you'll know, I'll mention when Mrs. Rabbit is home, this chaos doesn't happen. But yeah, you guys are just sitting there. It's Pickle, right? Pickle? Hi, Pickle. Yeah, hi. You want to say hi to everybody since you're interrupting? Oh, I'll say hi. But it's almost rent day. You're going to have to pay rent soon. You're going to have to pay rent soon. Yeah, you heard that and you run away. He knows what rent means. It's kisses. But anyway, we sent out scouts because you can read posts, you can get that, but sometimes it's better to just put some boots on the ground. Get somebody out there, let them interact with people, get a lay of the land. A great example is my old house server, Pellucidar, was very low population. And I knew that, but I didn't realize how low it really was. Because I could go to Arakeen back there and go to the market and there'd be barely anything for sale, which I knew it was low population. But you could still sell some stuff occasionally. And then I came here to Odin, and not only is the market way more active, both buying and selling, when I'm standing there, there's people running around. Other players are loading in and going and doing whatever they're doing. Whether they're checking Landsrad vendors or going get their Regis components. Hey, Christopher, how you doing, man? Scandinavian friend. It was amazing to me to be standing there and just seeing, you know, every minute or three, a new person would run by. And I would have that press F to interact. And I would inspect them a little bit, and, it would say their name, and it would list off their guild, and it's mostly Atreides. There's only a couple Harkonnens that I would ever see. But just the fact that there were so many other people was really cool. Like, that was amazing. And, I was sending messages out to some people who would say, hey, whatever, what's going on? What do you think of this server? And another point that bears making is how often the response I got from some really I'm going to get a locked door. Hey, you're not doing that. Oh, look what you did. You're moving stuff. Come over here. You sit. You do that. How many people were saying that they were new as well? I asked some people like, "Hey, what do you know about the what do you know about the server so far?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I just got here last week myself, so I really don't know." And that happened. Get down. Get down. Come on. That happened very often. Once or twice a day, talking to people who were new as well. So with my server being locked, that obviously didn't happen. But dude, no. But that was really a refreshing thing, and showed me just how low population my old home was. Would I say the game is better or worse with more people around? It's definitely better. 100%. There's no question. It's better. Even if the people don't agree with you or you end up getting into some scuffles, having more people is definitely huge. Just for the health of the game, the health of the market, and the potential interactions. I saw... Okay, so I've done testing stations back on my old server with my guildmates. I've done them solo, and I've done them in different size groups with my guildmates. Here on Odin, I've just joined up with people and did them. And it didn't take long to fill up a team. Keep in mind, I'm a Destiny player. I've sat for 45 minutes trying to fill up a 6-man raid team. It took minutes, if that. And that was good. That helps move things along. Last thing you want to do is say, hey, I want to do something, and admit maybe I'm not able to do this myself. Let me see if I can find some people to do it with, and there's just nobody. You know? Not good for the health of the game. So, but I wasn't the only person who was out scouting servers. So there was others. And people asked me what my opinion was. I gave them the best representative I could of it. Did as much as I could find. We're just going to keep doing this. This is not going to end. I'm not going to let you up here. Every time you jump up here, I'm putting you back. Just so you know. Yeah, he won't even look at me. He's going to jump right back up here. This cat is insane. But yeah, that wasn't the only one scouting. So we put it up to a vote to everybody. And the vote was cast. And we are not going to be staying on Odin. A majority of the group, not by a wide margin, like 2/3 to 1/3, felt that as far as the guild as a whole, it would be a better fit at another place based off of population, based off of market activity, based off of the people that are there as well. So we're going to be packing our base up again. The issue, and the reason we're still here, is because I can't transfer for another hour and a half. Because of being on last week is when I made my transfer. So we got to wait an hour and a half. So got some things I'm finishing up and a couple little tasks to do here and there. But I'm mainly going to go over a lot about doing a server transfer to try to help anybody who's getting ready to do one so they understand what it involves and miss some of the pitfalls that I fell for. And some people did advise me on things to do and things not to do. But we're going to go over that. Now, my opinion of Odin, and if you're not on this server and you're watching, this is a great server. There's a lot of good people here. There's one of them right now. I don't know who that is, but there they are. There's a decent amount of activity. The deep desert has activity as well. The markets are good. Then again, keep in mind, like I said, I left the farm and came to the big city. So I don't necessarily have a good opinion on what an active market or inactive market might be. Let's go to the market right now because we have to go there. So we're just going to break it up into that. The different reasons, different things that you may or may not want to look for. So the sietch I'm on, I did not pick it for any reason. Literally, it just happened to be, this was the one I clicked on. I think I'm on Reveiw. And when I first got here, I was looking at not only the quantity of bases in the area, but the state of them. What I mean by that is, are there any bases? Hey, there's somebody. Are there any bases that are fallen apart, obviously abandoned? That's a player who either has already quit, or they just don't log in enough, or maybe they don't care anymore. And I saw a lot of bases that are still active. You can tell the pentashields are still up, which means it's still got power. And in some cases, you know, you're seeing the signs of life. It ended up that the server I picked was the sietch I picked was actually a main hub for, we'll get out of that quick enough, for a guild, one that's rather active. And I went around and was looking at their bases and commenting on different things, and apparently the guild leader, I said his base was hideous, and that apparently has become a running joke within them. So for the guild leader, and I'm not going to call you out by name, but for the guild leader, I'm sorry I did that to you. It was not intentional, and I didn't expect it to be something that would last. And for all of your guild mates, keep it up. Keep it up. Got to let me know if it changes or not. Another person right there going to do stuff. It might be the same one. I don't know. These guys attacked me within a few hours of being in the deep desert. 100% not their fault. I involved myself in something that was going on where I shouldn't have been. And they were kind of, well, I shouldn't say they. One person responded that it was nice that I wasn't overreacting, and that how I handled getting attacked and getting my stuff destroyed and getting eaten by the worm. That's one thing I think that happens far too often in this game, is people only consider one side of a story, don't realize it. Let me just give you a brief little thing. They were doing a guild war. They were facing off on a bigger team, and I knew that, and I took my assault, went to Arakeen, and dropped a bunch of stuff off in the market, and then I was like, hey, let me go out and check out what's going on. And then I made a very big tactical error. I got right out to where the edge is. I know where the edge is. And I looked on the map, and there was a place I could set down because I didn't want to just sit there and burn fuel. I had just transferred here, so I wasn't running a good loadout for dawdling. And I looked at a rock, and I was like, okay, I'll head over to this one. And when I came out of the map, I didn't mark it because, I mean, I'm looking at a rock formation. But the one I looked at was actually over the line. So I started flying to that. The zone change started to happen. So I went back towards the PvE side. Now, they, after getting into a massive fight with a group and waiting for the group to come back at them, caught sight of me, so they thought I was them. They came over and engaged me. They shot the hell out of me. I went down. I had modules broken everywhere. But once they realized I wasn't part of their intended target, they did kind of feel bad about it. Some of them were like, hey, if you lost anything, we'll replace it, stuff like that. So, you know, that's really cool. And in fact, some of them might be on right now. They comment regularly on my feed. I never said anything about being on YouTube. Somehow they found out. I actually did some dungeons with one of the guys that attacked me. We got over it, you know? Look at this. Oh, those are birds, aren't they? Oh, here I am thinking there's shit going on. No, it's just a bunch of birds. That happens far more than it should. But they were really cool about it, and so was I. I think that's also something that needs to be addressed, is when you only look at a situation from one side and you feel a certain way about it, you are missing out on an opportunity. Because if I'd have been a douchebag about it, I'd be like, yeah, thanks, it's really great. And then it would have been back and forth. And there's a lot of things that I did this week that I was here that I wouldn't have done because I felt a certain way. So they were cool. I was cool about it. They were cool about it too. We buried the hatchets, so to speak. But it's funny because most of the friends I've made in this game are people that shoot at me. I don't know what the hell's going on. You had your first spice harvest in the PvP zone today. No fights though. Ooh, it's nerve-wracking and it's scary. I remember the first couple times I did it, and I've actually been run off from them. As the server population continued to dwindle from my normal home server, it got to a point where there was no fear at all. The worm was the only threat. So yeah, it's thrilling. So congrats on that, dude. It's amazing. Get your heart pumping for like no reason other than pixels, you know? The reason we're going here is because I still have some stuff up in the market. And if it hasn't sold, then I want to get it off of there because I don't want to just fly away because then it just disappears. You don't want to be in here. Animals are, they're server transferring too. One cat and the dog. Okay. Although the dog is, for the most part, very quiet, so I actually don't mind him being in here. What was that? Oh, that's my backup shirt. Okay. So now, of course, since I said there's always people in here, no one will show up. But, yes, so those items that we have for sale, if they haven't sold already, they will be gone. They will disappear, and I won't get anything for them. So let's see. Nope, it didn't sell. So I've got 1 day, 22 hours, 3 hours, and 3 hours. I was just putting stuff up here to try to get an idea of what would sell and at what price. This market is pretty active. I'm making a video on this, so I don't want to get too far involved. This market is just like the Landsrat, in my opinion. It's a great idea that just didn't work and has critical flaws that continuously kill itself. It's almost like one step forward, one step back. It doesn't win, it doesn't lose. It just stagnates and sits in the same place. But, you know, you got like level 2 boots here. There you go. Nice bulwark set. I usually bring my stuff by price just because the higher value items usually have a higher price attached to them. And a level 3 bulwark chest. Look at that. I don't want to know if I want to spend 10. What did I sell? I sold some spice, I sold some raw materials, and I sold some blueprints. I didn't bring anything too fancy. But I came here with 29 million Solari in my bank, and I spent about 25 million on things that I wanted to get, and I'm walking away with 133. So I made about 100 million of profit while I was here, which is really good. I was excited when I made like 10 million and 14 back on my home server because you would put stuff up and it just never moved or wouldn't sell. So that was good. But since this is the last time that we're going to be here in the market, I'm going to take a look and see. This guy's had this up for a long time. I mean, I remember I caught it just as it went up there because I was hoping for triple shot rifles, but didn't occur. At least nothing graded. So, I really don't need vehicle stuff, but it's nice to see there's quite a bit on here. A lot less than there was a little bit ago. 10 days. How's that happen? 137. Okay. This guy values his work very highly. It is neat. I'll show it to you. It's a pretty interesting base. I don't know anything about selling the Solitos. So basically, if you buy this, you'll be able to go somewhere and print this base out. But, you know, by looking at it, it's got, you know, a low point here that comes up high. What happened? I mean, how do you find a place that this exactly fits? But it is a neat looking base. Pretty cool. There were 2 other ones up here. I think they ran out or somebody bought them. Who knows? Not that. This will be in the video, so you guys are going to get a preview of this. This is what's wrong with this market right here. So we've got taro cut array, right? This is it's an awesome cut array. This is an awesome cut array. The reason is because, if you don't know, it basically allows you to kind of cheat your way into a tier 6 to cut down strontium and titanium. It's still made with duraluminum, so when you're in the duraluminum phase, if you get this, this will let you go out into the deep desert and harvest more. So that's a real good primary jump. I have sold, I think, 3 or 4 of these for, I think the first one I sold was for 30,000 Solari. The second one was for 37. And then the third and fourth ones I sold for 45 and then 50. So when you look at the prices these guys are asking here, it's insane. The reason I did that was because this is a very good transitional cut array for a player going from duraluminum to the plastanium tier. They may not have a whole lot of money. At that point, you know, they're spending, doing things. Yeah, they're getting some income. But 2 million, that's a lot. It's a lot for a solo player, for just a person by themselves. 6 million? Come on, man. Come on. The player who wants and or needs this, are they going to have that? And, you know, 2 million, 2 million, 3, 3, and then 6. And if you look, these are the same time. So this is the same person selling these. This one was the same person, and then this one. So I would think this is 3 different people. It might be somebody just like me throwing them up there just to see what they sell for. I guess I could look. No, I was going to look to see if there was another one. This, like I said, is a perfect example, and explain why. No item in this game that we would sell should not have a price range. There should be a base value that they're going to adjust on how many have sold in the past and a likelihood of availability. The fact that we can assign a price, whatever we want, creates utter chaos in this market. So let's say I come along and I say, oh my gosh, you guys are terrible. The player that needs this isn't going to have that kind of money. I'm going to sell mine, and I'm going to sell it for 35,000 because I don't care about the money. I don't really need it anymore. It's just whatever's. So I put it up there for 35. One of 2 things is probably going to happen there. Either the player who really needs that and it's going to change their life and make gameplay so much easier for them and help progress them through into the next stage to where they can make like a tier 6 or a Mark 6 cutter. They're going to be like, oh, that's so awesome. And I've done quite a few missions where I've gotten 5,000 or 6,000. I've saved up. I can afford 35. And they buy it. And then they go back to their base and they make it. And then they tell their friends and family and coworkers about how awesome this one thing they got in the game was. Or somebody who doesn't need it and is looking to make a bunch of money is going to buy it for 37, and they're going to turn around and list it for 2 million. And I've done that, actually. I have sold things for a very reasonable price because somebody in their progression stages could use it. And within 3 minutes, I saw that exact same item back up for sale for 10 times what I sold it for. So that wasn't somebody who needed it. That was somebody making money. I can't fault them for wanting to make money. And one of the mottos here at the channel is, play the game however you want to play it. But they needed to create a base value and then adjust it. Let's say a taro cut array, again, easy numbers. Let's say it's worth 100,000. So when you go in and you want to put one up for sale, it says, what do you want to sell it for? You can sell it for 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And if there's already 2 of them up here that are being sold for 90, well, obviously you want to sell yours for 80 because you'll undercut the other guys. Yours will sell before theirs were. But you can't come in here and put 2 million. That's why you need a server level Discord, direct sales to real players. Yeah. You're completely right, but why do we have to have an outside source to make this work? This needs to work in game. What doing it on a Discord? What the guy says here, Rico Suave. I'm old, I get it. What he's saying there is, there are methods, and that's true. And I'm not saying there isn't, but we shouldn't have to rely on them. There should be something in the game that allows this to happen. And if you want to make the 2 million thing, whatever, you can, like he says, do a direct sale. But by creating a base value, because I remember the first time I came to this market, I was like, well, what is this worth? I don't even know what the thing's worth. Is this good or is it bad? What price should I put in? And the only way to learn is to either have something already on there, which, if you're trying to sell a taro cut array, you're getting a pretty good idea of what it is. I mean, they haven't moved all week, so maybe they aren't that great. But just this clueless aspect of what's something worth. Again, something is only worth what someone's willing to pay for it, but it's a chaotic economy. And if they could stabilize this a little better, where you could make your money, because, I don't need a taro cut array. So if I get that pattern, what do I do with it? Do I stick it in a box? Do I just use it? And now when I go to make cutters, it's like, oh, you can make 16 of these because you've scanned these patterns or learned it or whatever, researched schematic. Or you could pass it along to somebody that might actually need it. Plus, it gives a new player who wants a taro cut array an idea. I'm going to have to get 100,000 Solari in order to buy one of these. Maybe it is 110. Whatever. It would be a much more stable economy and be way more... they're way more interactive. Same reason why we don't have guild finding mechanisms. It's a great 5-level player. I still use my dairy. Mark 6 is just a waste of money. I use a Mark 6 just because I was selling all of my taro cut array patterns. It's give and take as well, because you'll get better results on, I believe, all the other items like the aluminum, jasmium and stuff like that, but it gets better results. The Mark 6 gets better results on the stiridium and titanium. And since I've used a buggy, really don't hand grab stuff much anymore. The second reason they needed to create base values that we can't break is because this allows for duping. Duping economy lives off this, where you can assign your own price. So it creates its own poison to itself. To where I could go in, like, if I want to sell, no one's going to buy Plastone. I have this because I was working on my base, right? So if I want to sell this, there you go. I'm going to sell this for, what is that, 10 million for each one, which means I'm going to make 240 million. This is how dupers make their living. By selling something that no one cares about for an ultra ridiculous price, They dupe the Solari, and then I come along and I give them $20 in real money through PayPal or something, and they put this up on the market, and I go and buy it, and that's how I get the Solari. If this had a set value to where there was nothing that had this ridiculous price, yeah, dupers could just give coins, but you know what? Are you going to be able to walk around with 200 and some million Solari on you? No. That's going to be covered in the video. That was supposed to be out yesterday, but I've had 2 bad days in a row, and it just didn't happen. So I apologize for that, but hopefully I'll get it done this weekend. See, look, there's somebody. Okay, so this is something interesting. Apparently, with the new patch, we have items bouncing between instances. I don't think somebody came over here and dropped this. Somebody might have. Where did that person go? Oh, they're over here talking to the walrus guy. You're famous now. Base and salvage leader. John. Lilia. I wish you could look at this and it would tell you a little bit more about the person. And just like that, they were gone. They left our lives completely. But yeah, so getting back to it. I wish the market was better than it was. I think they should have a set amount, and we can change it by like maybe 10% up and down. But I don't know. So many things. Let's look at look at armor, and we'll go up here to grade 5. So grade 5 equipment shouldn't be something that's sold for 50K, you know? It should be expensive. I don't know if 10 million is the right price for a crew chief's still suit. I mean, it's grade 5. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, all this does is mean that it's like the numbers are better. By numbers, I mean, I don't think we can see it. Yeah, there's no way to see it. But it might have it's going to have a better catch rate, so it refills on water faster because it's a still suit, and it's going to have a little higher armor value. But who's running around in a still suit worried about the armor value? You know, there's other things for that. I don't know. I didn't buy it. I could. I didn't buy it. But you know, and then here we have like a grade 3 a bulwark chest, 3.5 million. That's a pretty decent little piece of armor. I wouldn't mind getting it. I actually would like to, once I get back with the guild, I'll be able to start doing some of the higher level dungeons more. It's my fault, I just never was doing them. And get better levels of gear. So hopefully, you know, I can pull something better than a level 3, but it is. Grade 5 weapons and gear is going for 60 million? Oh my gosh. So like I said, I came here with 29 million. I had 24 million of my own that I'd gotten through savings and selling stuff and the missions I collected. And one of my guildmates, Wired, dropped me 5 million as a going away present because, you know, for the purpose of the guild, they wanted me to load some stuff up and sell things and buy some stuff. So it was just kind of a, you know, thanks for doing this, here's a loan type thing. And I'm walking away, like I said, with 133 million. So spending 3.5 on the level 3 is nothing. I mean, I could do that a whole bunch of times. But 60 million? I mean, it is a grade 5, but still 60 million? It's a lot of money for something a worm could eat. That's only if you're dumb enough to go out into the desert with it on. There's no reason to hit the deep desert with that. Well, but I guess if you're doing PvP stations out in the wild, you could get jumped on the way there. But yeah, they really... a great idea. It's just... game designers need to stop trusting us as the community to do the right thing, because we're not going to. If you create a glitch, we're going to find it, and we're going to exploit it. If you create a method for me to get around doing something that you've designed, I'm probably going to do it just out of spite. Just because I can. Personally, I don't believe in doing exploits that affect other people. You know, like if you find a way to zoop yourself into a wall and you can shoot the enemies, but they can't shoot you, that's douchebaggy. But there's other people that will do it. Stop trusting the community to follow that golden example of harmonious players that all of these game designers seem to think we are. We're not. We're just not. I mean, we're not. Admit it. We're not. Don't trust us to do the right thing. We're going to do the easy, the fun, or the crazy thing every single time. Stop trusting us. We can't be trusted. We are children sitting in a pool of gas. Do not hand us matches. The whole reason I came here was because I have stuff that I'm selling. And since nobody bought it, I did well with spice. I sold 3 separate stacks. Changed the price around a little bit. These were just testing to see if anybody bought this, but no one did. But most of the stuff I put up did go. So that's where all this money came from. I'm not going to mess around too much, so we're going to cancel this order. Confirm. Cancel this order. I could just be hitting spacebar, for God's sakes. Okay, there we go. So all of my orders are canceled. Now, once you do that, you have to go to completed, because this is where it actually is sitting. It's not like you didn't automatically pick it up in your pocket. So it's canceled. Still paid the listing price. You can send it to yourself, but if it's a high enough volume, I mean, I could probably put this in my backpack, but this is the whole reason I came here with the assault. So I'm going to send this to the vehicle. And these guys I'll just take because they don't weigh anything, and they can put it in my backpack. So if you're an active market player, before you transfer servers, you definitely want to make sure that you go here and, number one, look at everything that is there. And if there's something that you would like at a good price and you can afford it, go ahead and pick it up. Anything that you're currently selling that hasn't sold, take it with you. Otherwise, it's just lost into the void. But I would also advise you to be careful. If you're going from a low pop server to a high, you might be able to find, like, say I bought the this level 3, right? Like I was talking about, this level 3 might be kind of cool. For 3.5 million, I may go to a more populated server, go to the market, and there could be a level 5 for sale, or even a level 4 within a relative price, which would basically mean this level 3 was useless. If I'd have just spent twice as much, I could have got a level 4. And if you know how to take care of your armor and repair it real well and built your stats up, it'll serve you for a long, long time. So do keep that in mind. Be a little questionable about spending your money, just in case. But definitely look and see if there's anything that you would want to grab. But I'm not seeing anything in the market, and I picked up the stuff that I have. So we're gone. So go to Harco or go to Arakeen, clear out the market, make sure there's nothing that you're going to lose, and look to see if there's anything you want to buy, but be a little reserved. Next thing, this guy doesn't really matter.
Yes. I never forget a fight.
Because he doesn't care whether you won or lost. the land's rad. He'll always sell. So as long as you've done your missions and you've reached your maximum amount, that's fine. If you don't do this and you go to a new server, whatever you didn't pick up will still be there. So let's say I bought half, because you can get 25. Let's say I bought 10. There's still 15. I didn't have enough of the script stuff. When you go to your new server and you get your things, you come back here, he'll still have the 15 to sell you. So this isn't as important, but if we're not going to have a reason to go there and we're close to the deadline, like today's Saturday, Monday is the cutoff date. So, I've got several days. Wouldn't be such a big issue. But if you're moving right on the day of round reset and you're already here, go ahead and check this stuff out. One thing I don't know. Okay, so carbide blade parts. This guy's selling 15 for 100. I have a bunch. I could do it for science. You know what? That's why people watch. So, I'm going to buy all 15 of these. And then once I move, I want to go back and see if he has the 15 still there. We are going to be moving tonight, so you may not see this part, but I'll know, and I'll be glad to report it. But yeah, let's go ahead. I don't really need them, but I think I'll be okay. Okay, so now that's blacked out. I want to see what happens when we go to the new place, if it does it. It's not a valid tactic because you can only move once a week, so it's not like you can sietch hop. But we'll go see. All right, so there's really nothing else here for me to do. I don't have any missions that I can select, so I don't know if the missions stay with you or if they go away. So sorry, I can't help you with that. I would suggest you do any missions that you have at least active. Anything that you're not currently doing should transfer. But I don't know what would happen if you were like in the midst of a mission and then you did a server transfer. So there we go. Clear out Harco Village or Arakeen. Not staying on the server. No, I am not. We will be moving. If you're looking for a server, I don't know if you're one of the people that's already here. I liked Odin. I think Odin has... It's got a good mix of player. It's got a decent player base to build on. And it seems like there's a lot of incoming players, which is only going to add to it. I didn't see anybody... Like, there were no chats that annoyed me. And keep in mind, I'm old, so I'll get annoyed really quick. So I didn't see anybody that just was like, dude... There was nobody that made me wish this game allowed you to mute somebody instead of just turning off the chat, which is good. Because even on my own server back in the day when it was a little more busy and more people were playing the game, there were some individuals where I stayed out of the deep desert for a week just because I was tired of hearing this one guy nonstop. I'm like, you know what? I need a break from you. So I just didn't go. But I didn't experience any of that here. Everybody that I saw was pretty responsive. There were a few times I sent a message to somebody and they didn't answer me back. That doesn't bother me at all. I always assume in that case that either one, they didn't see it, or number two, they may have it turned off. Some people like their privacy. They're not here to make friends. They don't want to make friends. So they just turn the chat off because they don't care what it... Nope, we didn't get enough height. Sorry. So they may not have even seen it. I don't automatically be, screw you. So it doesn't bother me. I'm an Aussie, so the NA servers would be laggy. I would think so. What would you be? Oceania, I think, is what they would consider it. And they're... oh, I had it. I didn't even have it in vulture mode. I wonder what's going so crazy. There are people that I know have very good internet connections, and on the higher population servers, they've got a lot of lag that they experience. Um, so it's a little iffy for that. So yeah, I would think a North American server for an Aussie player. You might get more population here. You might have more things to do and more people to meet, but overall your experience is going to be so rubber bandy and so laggy, and you're going to be more likely to drop out of things. Like, it'd be great to find a group to go do a dungeon with until you get disconnected halfway through it. Um, when I was playing games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, even Destiny, whenever I was doing any kind of PvP things, I would always prefer, I think skill-based matchmaking is actually a good thing. I know that's going to upset a lot of people, but I would take connection-based over skill-based any day. If I get beat, I get beat. But let me get beat by a player who's better than me, not because when I shoot at him, he's not actually there, he's over here. Connection-based, personally for me, is the bigger thing. So yeah, I think Oceania, but I don't know enough about the servers and to know what kind of ping you're going to get. Okay, so this is a stuff that I just brought back, and I've got this just in case. This is for all the new people. Everyone fights. These 3 boxes. The first one is what I call gameplay switch. There you go. This just, when I'm, if I'm going to go out and do something and I need a still suit's in here. This is basically just some gear transitions. I've got like a lighter set of armor. There's some broken stuff. There's my old static needle. Things like that. This is a dump box. Whenever I come in and I just don't have the time to go through it, which you always have the time, I just don't want to take it, then I can just dump this stuff in here and not have to go through it. And then eventually one thing I'll come along and I'll be like, holy crap, this is like 80 something. Then I'll just go through the whole thing all at once, disperse it in the boxes where it needs to go. And this was dump box 2 because I got super lazy and was really collecting a lot of stuff. But I've been good because this stuff I just kept in there for no reason. So I've been very good. And we've already forgot something. Tell you what, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to put spice melange in a dump box. So we're going to come all the way down here. And we will drop it in here. Yes, look at all the spice we got. Why is that in the... Okay. So, we'll drop it in there. This was completely full when I got here. That tells you how much spice I've sold. It actually comes out properly. This is 100. I shouldn't say that. This is how much spice I've sold and how much I used over the course of the week for repairing some items, building a couple things, and then buying some skills. So, we have already torn down all the vehicles. Usually I would put my buggy over there. Oh, look, I took out my Pentashield door and I put in an actual Atreides garage door. I was a little hesitant about that because, when it opens like this, anybody could walk in. But everything I've got here, I have set up either on an associate level or we have it set as owner. So that's fine. And that door is not set that way. So if they were to run in here and be snooping around, when that door closes, now I have they're like my little base gnome and I own them. And they're going to stay with me forever and ever and ever. Because there's no way out besides that door and these pentashields, which they won't be able to get through because they're all set that way. Enter at your own risk. We have gotten rid of the carry-all, and we got rid of our storage container. And I put everything into boxes over here. So this was everything that I kept in the storage container. And you'll see it's just a bunch of stuffs. And same thing here. And then this box here, which honestly, it's kind of dumb to do because you shouldn't do stuff like this. But this is a very important box because I've got my carrier that I broke down. I've got my storage container that I broke down. And the buggy and my biker broke down, as well as this ornithopter. This is one of the scouts. I actually have 3 scouts. This is the combat scout that I have. Rocket scout, sorry. I still have to break down at least 2 of these vehicles down here. Because when you're transferring, vehicles will not come along with you. I made a very big mistake. I made a very big mistake when I made the move over here because I was like, oh, let me see what happens if you don't break down a vehicle. And the vehicle I chose was my storage container. So when I hit the button and copied my base, everything disappeared and the storage container fell out of the sky and landed on the sand. I was like, oh, look at that. When you do that, you're down to your backpack space because you have to pocket your ornithopter when you do the transfer so that you arrive on the sand. I think you can do it from the outside server. I don't know, but I actually clicked on it just to check the timer and it told me I have to be in Haga Basin in order to transfer servers. So I don't think you can do it from the overland map. You can go to different sieges, but I believe for transferring your base, you have to be standing in Haga, which means you're going to have a thopter in your pocket or a friend already waiting for you to arrive because you're going to arrive at Griffin's Reach over in South Haga. So you have to be able to pocket a thopter, meaning you can only use your backpack to transport anything. And when you're dumb and you put a 125 volume item on the ground that you have to now pocket, takes up a whole lot of space. That caused me an issue because not only that, but we had some rewards that I flew around and collected from different houses for my Landsrat stuff, which we ended up throwing in the backpack too. And I had to make some decisions and leave some things on the ground. Everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is learn from your mistakes, and we have. So I've already broken that down. We have 3 thopters in here. I've got my assault, which was the workhorse just to move stuff, and I wanted to use that solely for the purpose of going to Arakeen in case I had a bunch of stuff that I hadn't sold. I knew I could probably fit it in a scout, but I didn't care that much. That's what this is for, and I'm going to use it, damn it. So she has fulfilled her purpose. So we're going to break her down. We got plenty of space here. We just have to bring a torch over. And we're going to break her down, and she's going to go in the box upstairs with the rest of the vehicles, which would be horrible if something happened to that box. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but I would be very unhappy, shall we say. So, when you're taking apart your vehicles, I'll repair them just so they're full. That way when I get where I'm going, I don't have to. Another reason I do this is because we're about to put our base in a in our backpack. So I'm not going to have access to all sorts of things until we get ourselves established. This is from my old deep desert days where you'd have to break apart everything. And I just got used to repairing everything. Now we're going to detach. Do, 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 do. I don't understand why this uses power. Like, I should just do it. As you can see, the power doesn't actually go down. It just fluctuates there. Doesn't use welding wire. It doesn't use anything. So what's the point of it being down there? Just let me detach crap. When you're doing this, you want to keep track of your volume. and make sure like I'm at 144 out of 264 because I got some skill bonuses. So we're good. In the event that you take something apart that is too big to fit in your backpack, it lands on the ground wherever you're standing. I took apart my buggy out in the deep desert, didn't realize it, and I left one of the treads sitting on the ground. So when I got out to the deep desert, I started building my base and and then when I was going to put it together, I didn't have it. And I was like, oh, what happened? So I went back to the little container and no, it wasn't in there. And I had ended up leaving it laying on the ground where I took the buggy apart. And by the time I got back, it was gone. So I had to make another tread just because I'm dumb. Don't be like me. You guys are smart, I know. With the bonuses, it's kind of nice because you can fit an entire vehicle in here. That should be the stuff that was sitting in inventory, right? Yep. Look at that. 251, so we're getting close. This little box is just for extra stuff, like things I'm finding on the ground and stuff that doesn't have a set qualified place to go. So we'll just stick those in there. And then, like I said, here we are. I like to use fuel cells to break them apart just because it makes me visually happy. You don't have to do this. The other thing I like to do is always put the chassis first because it's the first thing you put down and then the rest of it just attaches to it. So I don't have to find it. It's always the first thing I grab. Again, you don't have to do that. I just do that because it makes me feel happy inside when I do it. And it's always the last thing that you're going to pick up when you take a vehicle apart. So after this, it doesn't matter what order you put it in, to be honest. I'm going to save the wings for last. And I don't have any more fuel cells to put in there. But I have at least one more thopter I have to break down. So we're going to grab a couple fuel cells. Should be enough in this box right here. Okay, so now I have to make a choice between this thopter and that. Both are scouts. This one has thrusters. That one up there has storage. It really doesn't matter because you're going to pocket it anyway and you go on foot. So I won't be able to have anything in there. At this point, if you're going someplace where you already know there's people waiting, like I'm going to where the guild is, it doesn't matter. I don't need to carry anything because I'll be able to go. I know exactly where I'm supposed to head. And when I get there, there'll be people, you know, waving and saying hi. On this new server in Sietch that we're going to, the place where my base is sitting right now was not occupied. But it currently is. One of my guild friends went over and put down a sub-thief and everything just so somebody else couldn't come along and claim it. So when I head over there, he's going to show up and destroy that and then clear out, and then I'll be able to just plop right down. But Hamish is a Kiwi. Oh, look at you. Oceania servers are higher pop in general than NA, apart from the top 5 NA servers. I think it's a bigger area. How's your ping, Hamish? Do you see like lag or any performance issues? I don't know where the Oceania servers are located. I know, like for mine, for here, it'll say like this server's in Washington, D.C., this server's in Dallas, you know, and it kind of gives you a city spread out, Los Angeles type thing. But anywho, back to what I was saying. So it really doesn't matter. Basically, do I want to get there faster or do I want to possibly pick some stuff up? This isn't going to matter because when I first transfer, first thing I want to do is drop my base down and get everything settled. So I'll be able to pop back all the vehicles that aren't sitting here readily. I believe we're going to keep the rocket thopter. Actually, the booster, I should say. The rocket one's already in a box. So we're going to take this one and we're going to tear it down. But, of course, the first thing we got to do is repair. It's already been repaired. There's very little to do on it. We're getting to 50% wings, so it's about time to yank them wings off. This one, I think, has special wings, too. Yep, these are the albatrossers. I have more of them, so that's okay. 170, 210 on North America. The Oceania servers are in Australia. It only gets laggy when all servers are bad. 170 to 210. That's not the best, but it's better than I thought it would. And then again, I wonder what population's going to do the more people you get in there. All right, let's break this down. Boop. The scanners last forever. I found one in a chest out in the deep desert, and I ran that thing down into like the 30%, and then this is the newest one I made. Man, it just lasts forever. I guess I don't use it as enough. Alright. So now we are down to just one thopter. Everything else is upstairs. We got a couple fuel cells just to make our soul feel happy. And we are going to come over here. So again, like I said, just because, and then chassis. After that, doesn't matter. These albatross wings are designed for speed, but you lose some maneuverability. I haven't really noticed the maneuverability being such an issue, but the speed is definitely nice. So, yeah, personal preference. And then we'll put the wings at the end. And we'll put a fuel cell here. All right. Everything else transfers. I really got to give it to them. It's scary, you know. I put a lot of work in this base. I've got tons of stuff everywhere. Some things I don't even know where they're at. Some of the stuff's organized. And the initial transfer I did was incredibly smooth. Incredibly smooth. Like, I literally clicked on it, it disappeared. The cargo container hit the ground. I had to find a way to store that in a backpack, drop some junk I didn't really need because I was carrying way too much stuff. All that was stupid. I ended up having my bike that I had to break down as well. So I had the carrier container and a bike in my back because that was in my scanner gun. So yeah, we made all sorts of mistakes, but it's actually all right. I thought that there might be some glitchiness, like, you know, building pieces falling apart that didn't quite land the way they were supposed to, but nah, everything was good. Everything was golden. The fuel inside my generators and the filters, all that stuff stayed exactly the same. They knew what they were doing for it, so no complaints, no notes. About an hour and 15 in. Right now, I think I probably got... I don't have an hour, but it's not 45 minutes. Okay, it's much less than I thought, so I'm at 33 minutes. So we might actually get to see that happen. So yeah, 33 minutes away from being able to leave. There's a lot of chat that goes on in this server. You don't get to see it because it's behind my little happy smiling face. I do that because I can't control what's said there. And if there's bad things and horrible stuff going on, I don't need that going across on my channel. I have to follow some guidelines from YouTube. Yes, YouTube daddy, I'm sorry. 9999 ping. Yeah, Hamish, I could see how that would be a horrendous problem. So, in my opinion, overall for Odin, I would easily go 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10. I didn't, in the course of the week, really experience everything. It's going off of conversations that I see, kind of one sided stuff. The people that are talking right now, for the most part, I've seen them repeatedly. So, it's good to see repeat people talking, but also every now and then a new name shows up. I was impressed with how helpful people are. Um, Not just with advice, but with their time. That's something big for me. That if somebody asks, "Hey, how do I get this?" and the person's just like, "Oh, you got to do this activity." That technically is sufficient. You answered their question, but here I saw them saying, "Oh, you got to do this thing. You got to do this testing station. Do you want to come along?" Um, a person wanted to do a testing station, and I asked them, "Well, what level are you doing it at?" Uh, and they said they wanted to do it level 10. The highest I could do was 20. That's where I stopped. And I was like, "Yeah, I could do it at level 10." And another person was like, "Yeah, I'll do it with you too." And then a fourth person chimed in and was like, "I'll do it, but I've never done it before." We took them in. If you do a solo, you are limited by, like, you can only do one higher than what you've already completed. So when you go in, I think in the initial spot, you can do like 1, 2, 3, or 4. But then after that, if you only have done level 8, when you go back into it, you can only do level 9. But if you're with a group, somebody who's done a higher level than you can go and start it at whatever level they want to do. And if you finish it, even if you didn't make it all the way through, you were, got killed it, got to watch the rest of the fight. If it's completed at that level, that's your new level. And you can do anything below it. So there is a very high value for a new player to be able to go through that with a group who can unlock access to those. From this point on, brother, you got to decide what you can handle. But he just jumped all the way up from level nothing to level 10. Physically, I don't think he can handle it. He didn't have the equipment, but this is how you get it. But that was really cool. Instead of just, what level are you doing? Oh, I can only do 10. I'm on 20. Sorry. Only doing equal or beneficial runs. It was nice to see me and another player who could do higher took the time to do a lower one and to help a new person out. They didn't know how to get through it, so we kind of ran slow. One of the people was clearing all the bad guys because they were a lot stronger than the rest of us. So he was clearing all the bad guys out while we were kind of walking through and explaining and showing. It was a really good experience. So I liked that. I would give a more defined rating and would stand behind it if I could spend more time here. I don't think a week is really that much. And because I was only out here for a week, I didn't build a deep desert base, but I did go out into the deep desert. I made multiple runs to caves, flew around the areas, scouted out bases out there to see what kind of things people are doing. I've seen a lot of carriers. I've seen a month worth of carriers in the 1 week I've been here. So that's awesome. And for the most part, people were very friendly here. If you're a new player, you're looking for a home, I would definitely suggest checking Odin out, seeing what you think about it. While I've been here, there were quite a few people. I think I mentioned this earlier, but there were quite a few people who were just as new to the server as I was, and they'd only been here for a week. There was one guy who popped in and was like, "Oh, I just transferred." So literally, the first thing he did was jump on chat and start talking to us. Yeah, see, this is a lot of things going on. Let's do something here real quick. I know who you are. Who are you? Oh, you're the same. Okay. Oh, you weren't always in that group. Okay. So yeah, I know. I know. Well, keep in mind, I'm not like talking like we're best friends. We've gone out
Sector
to
weather
party
alert.
and eat,
A large sandstorm is approaching.
caught a hockey game together, crazy stuff like that. But the names, I know at least two of these names. Um, and I know some of these clans. But two of the people who I know who they are talking to people that I don't know who they are. So that's kind of neat. Of course, we got a sandstorm. Hmm. But back to the task at hand. Um, for anybody who wants to know, this number will transfer. I had said that I wanted to get some extra skill points. That is for a skill that I want to get. Which one? Crap, I don't even remember.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
Oh wait, I know. I do, trust me, I do know. Um, Bingo, right there. I want to get a tractor field. I had it before, but I respec'd a while ago, and I used the skill points to get here. So I want to get the attractor field, just because it's very handy in dungeons, and I'm going to start doing more dungeons than I have before. But I need 2 skill points, and I only have 1. So we'll get that, and then we'll be able to use this. I replaced my turret with weirding step. I haven't used weirding step that much. Every skill in here at one point, I shouldn't say every skill. Most of the skills in here at one point, I at least equipped, even if I only put 1 point towards them, like, like here, like 1 point, etc. Um, just to get a
Sector
feel
weather
for it.
alert. A
Things that I
large
liked, I
sandstorm is
disliked.
approaching.
Some of these things you have to get in order to progress in the achievements. Like you have to do the litany against fear 25 times. You have to do this hunter seeker. You got to kill 25 people with this thing. Um, I've never done this. I know PvP people love this because lets you shoot guns and stuff for much longer. Specifically las guns when you're tearing bad guys apart and doing stuff. I think this skill's probably going to get used a lot less because specializations are making things far more lethal. But yeah, I want to get. Oh, we lost it again already. Sorry. Yeah, I want to get the attractor field. Um, the weirding step is fun. I haven't used it against bosses yet. I've used it against just like regular guys. I wanted to kind of work my way into it, get training. What I want is the ability to redistribute levels between skill specialists like you can with the skill tree. Yeah, it would be nice. They kind of so you could drop all of these and pop that XP into this. I mean, as I'm going, like for instance, right here, I'm almost done with this one. I'm at 398 out of the 450, but as you can see, my next level here is only 194. It keeps getting steeper and takes more points, but you know what? That's just math. They can figure this out, right? Yeah, that's why I want to do it, Rico. I want to definitely be using that more. I used it in the early days, was like, all right, that was kind of cool. My issue is I don't use guns that often just because they drop your shield and that's when you get hurt most. Um, so I tend to do more things melee. And I feel like I've kind of stagnated myself in that. I just, if you watch my content, you'll see that I'm always stabby all the time. And that definitely doesn't help the growth. Did storm go away? 22 minutes, guys. Um, so we get one vehicle, and you want to make sure that you don't have anything in your backup tool. What got me screwed was I was out doing some missions. I had the sand bike because I did Fremen Finds and Smuggler's Run. Forgot. So I would advise you to pop this bad boy out. No vehicle to restore. That's called a win. Sorry, I'm a little laggy from that storm going through. So we're down to one vehicle. And we know we had nothing in our backup. So that's good. The final thing you're going to want to do once you've cleared Arakeen, you've broken down all your vehicles, got your backup tool squared away, is you want to make sure that you pack your backpack properly. By that, I mean, I've got the basic stuff that I would go around if I was doing missions or playing, just regular stuff. A little bit of healing. I mean, I've got these Mark IIs here. Got a still tent in case I need it. Nothing too extensive here, but I'm down to 76 out of the 264. I would say don't be much more than half of your backpack space. Make sure you keep that empty. So if you have to drop some things off, go ahead. I'm going to come down here, and while I still have it and have access to it, I'm going to fully repair everything. All my stuff's in great shape. This is fine for what I'm doing. But if you were down low, or like it was getting questionable, now is not the time to play around. Fix it before you make your base go tiny and stick it in your pocket. Like this stuff here, I really don't need to fix. It's very minor damage. But key things are, you want to make sure that your power pack and your belt are just fine. In case wherever you're going isn't... like if you have a problem placing your base, if you don't have guildmates or friends who are preceding you, you go to a sietch. Maybe there's somebody where you're at, so you have to go find another spot. This way, I don't have to worry about something breaking and limiting my movement. Also, you're going to want to make sure that you've got a decent amount of bullets, heavy darts. I don't use anything that uses light. You want to make sure you got some welding wire. You don't have to have a full spool of 500. Might as well go for it. But have at least enough that in case, you end up getting hit with a storm or you get shot at by NPCs and do some damage, whatever. Whatever has to happen, you want to make sure that you can repair everything. A little bit of health. And last but not least, you'll see number 5 down here on my hotbar is water. Right now, I've got a ton of water in my base. So I've got 1.588 million milliliters of water. Capacity is all the way full. Everything's great. This is full because I filled it up earlier. You're going to want to make sure that is full. Especially if you don't have, a big liter John like I do. If you're using one of the smaller ones where you only get like 4 or 5 sips out of it before it goes away. Make sure you fill it up while you have access to water. Like I'm a little thirsty right now, so if I was going to transfer right now, I'll drink out of the base. And we'll go ahead and just fill containers anyway, even though there's very little to go in there. And I'm doing this with enough time for my wind traps on the roof to recover that little tiny bit of water I just used. So that way those things will be done and turned off. Oh, come on, man. There we go. I can actually hear them shutting down. That's cool. You don't have to run around and turn everything off. I've heard some people say or claim that, like, when it first gets put down, there's this, like, fraction of a second where, like, your water will turn on because all the water hasn't filled the cisterns when it makes them and etc. But I didn't have any issues and nothing got crazy. So even if it does do that, unless you're trying to put your base down in the midst of a sandstorm or attack, I don't think it's going to cause you any problems. So there you go. But make sure that you've got plenty of space in your backpack in case you need it. You probably won't, but in case you need it, make sure you've got it. No vehicle in your backup tool. Make sure you got just some of your basic supplies. your bank will transfer over, so you don't have to have a ton of money on you. So even if you did run into problems over there, you could. Oh, I'm so sorry. You could use the taxi service or whatever you have to do, or if you had to buy something from the vendor over in Griffin's Reach, that's where you'll spawn in. By Monday, I'm hoping to have a better scatter gun. I don't know. Sometimes you perceive a pattern because it's the only thing you're paying attention to. You'd be like, man, every time I have a day off, it's raining. That's because when it's not raining, you don't really notice that. So it may not be the pattern or may not be as prevalent as you think. But in any game I've ever played, Destiny, Call of Duty, this game, Battlefield, any game that has randomized drops, I do okay. Not that lucky, but I do okay. But there's always one thing that's just like, dude, you're never going to get that. And in this case, it's scatterguns. I can't get a decent scattergun to drop to save my life. I think I bought this. But I have a lot of scattergun patterns, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about, the higher value ones here. I thought about any time somebody put a scattergun in the market, I was just going to buy it. But that's my fate in life. To be honest, not having a scattergun, as long as I'm getting other stuff decently, we'll be okay. Go to, yeah, grade 5 scattergun. That's why I'd really like to have one. I really would. 15 minutes. We're gonna do the be right back thing. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'm too old to be holding it. So, give me just a second. Maybe only like a minute or so. And also got to see what the dog is doing. But I'll be back in just a tad. Okay. We're back. See, told you it wouldn't be long. How much time? Only 12 minutes. Well, 13. So, in the final 12 minutes and some odd seconds, I did like this server. This was a really, really nice place. It was good to see much more activity than what I was used to. Took a little while to get used to that, but I don't shy away from talking to people. I think a lot of people do. Never know who you're going to meet. Honestly, it's no big deal. If you don't like them, take them off your friends list. You can do that if you want. But yeah, it was a lot of friendly people. Got into some action within hours of being here, but it was my own fault. The deep desert here seems to be that if you cross that PvP line, you're looking for one of three things. Either you're looking for glory, you're looking for riches, or you're looking to die. And good chance that no matter what you do, you're going to find two out of the three. And honestly, I think that's the way it should be. I've done a lot of large spice field solo crawling, which I shouldn't be able to do. Those spice fields should be contested. I get it. I'm a North America East Coast player. If I'm going to stay up until 4 a.m. to log into an East Coast server and go out into the deep desert and sneak out there and harvest spice, yeah, give it to me. But if I'm going to go out in prime time, not an off time, but an on time or prime time, I shouldn't be able to just go out there and harvest spice in peace. I'm not saying people should mess with me. We carry an ancient way for a reason. But you got to kind of expect it. That's the way it should be. My low population server PvP meant you're probably not going to see anybody. You might, but you're probably not going to. And in most cases, I didn't. That's not the way it was intended. I never met any griefers here. And from what people were saying, there weren't too many griefers in the first place, and they don't seem to be around anymore. Hey, bird. There are guilds that do PvP. But you know what? If you go into that area where it can happen, it can happen. If you don't want to do it, don't go to that area. Yeah, that means that you're never going to be able to pull from a spice field, but from a large spice field, unless you get into a guild where you do it in force, it's the way it's kind of meant to be, you know? So, that... He said, thanks for checking out Odin. It was fun. It was really great. I'd love to stay here. I really would. But you know what? I was sent as a scout. I filed my report. We did it as a democratic way, and the vote went the other way. So I go where the group goes. Things go south, I'll be back. I'm not the kind of guy that's going to solo play on something like Harmony or Stoneheart. They're just a little too active for me. I play this game kind of as a relaxing type thing. That's why most of my content is solo content, to help other people to do this. I love the fact that when I get on here, I've said this before, but we'll say it more. I love the fact that I have a lot of control in what goes on during my playtime. So if I get, say, 4 hours to play, whatever I want to do in those 4 hours, I can. If I only get an hour, there's stuff I can go do. And if I'm like, you know what, I had a horrible day at work, I don't feel well, I'm not in a good, frame of mind, I'm just irritated right now, I don't want to go do this super hard activity. I don't have to. I'll look at a box and be like, you know what, I need more of these. And then just get in my buggy and go out and collect more. It's relaxing. And when there's times where I'm like, you know what, I'm in a good mood, let's do something, I can go do that. Whenever playing games like Call of Duty or Battlefield, I always felt like I was less in control. It was me being thrown into a situation and I had to react to it. Sometimes it was easy peasy. Sometimes it was chaos. And I would load that game, like I'd load Battlefield 6 up and I'd play for a half hour and be like, yeah, tonight's not the night, turn it off. I've never had that instance in Dune Awakening. I've always been able to turn the game on and say, this is what I want to do, and then go do it. And if I wanted it to be peaceful and quiet, it was. If I wanted it to be a bit challenging, it was. If I wanted it to be as challenging as possible, there you go. So, going from a low population server to a medium one was, again, like I said, it was kind of jarring at first, seeing all these people running around, but everybody here was nice. and I think it's Shyla. I'm hoping I'm saying that properly. Hopefully, I live on amongst the remnants uh, as far as a certain individual's base goes. So you guys need to get together and help him fix that. Maybe someday, a month or so down the road, I'm just gonna show up one day and I'm check and see if it's still hideous or not. He's got to work on that. Some of the bases that you guys in your group, because you're on the, just have a chance. Some of the bases you guys have got are really impressive, and I want to show something. Sorry, I identified yours as a trap, but that's what it looked like. Uh, while I've been here, I added a couple things to mine. Um, I'm trying to incorporate this surrounding the traps. I was just doing this today since I really can't get too involved in stuff. But that was really awesome. I'm going to take that with me. I'm going to steal that, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. So whoever in your group has that, let them know that I have thefted from them, and I am still laughing about it as of right now. But I've been thinking about whether or not we're going to keep this. This is basically like a battleship fortress. Uh, I've made a lot of different changes to this over the course of time. These landing pads were a good addition. We decided to add some donkeys and some worms there. Um, Worked on our dining area. This used to look. I go with big hangers, far bigger than I need to. This thing used to look like a Funko Pop. It used to be huge, and then finally I got toned it down. I still don't have a good place to put my cargo container. I just kind of stick it in there and swing it off to the side as the cables are dropping, but we're going to work on that. I think somebody in your group has a center portion where they drop the carriers in a specific little cubby with a Pentashield on top, and I saw that and I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's a good idea. So that might be the lasting effect that we have in the event that I do not return. But you guys were cool. And I had a great time here. So anybody watching that's looking for a server where it's pretty much the way the game's intended to play, I would definitely tell you check out Odin. Rafana, which is the sietch I'm on, a little packed. So that's the one thing that I don't like about the server transfer is you kind of have to, take a shot in the dark if you're by yourself. You might go onto a sietch that is completely packed and your base is taken up. You can bounce between them still, I believe, even though you don't have a home. But that might just be my thoughts being kind of like, I don't like having my base in my pocket. Oh yeah, I'm going to be taking my base. This one's mine. Yeah, no, my guild base is at my new destination. Just a few more minutes. And I knew that there was a possibility that this, it wasn't, it's a question of whether or not which server better suits the guild as a whole. And I knew coming here that there was a possibility that I wouldn't be staying. So I didn't get too attached, a little more attached than I would have liked. But I can still leave with, a good feeling. But yeah, anybody watching that potentially looking for a place to go, Odin's got a good population, a lot of good people here, and definitely enjoyed my time. I built here because I wanted to be able to get to these areas, especially I wanted to kill the Mosquerite because they deserve it. But that's why I built here. And also the fact that I wanted real easy ground entrance. There was one of my guildmates was on Discord talking about his first base was up in this area, and when he was in a buggy, if he wanted to go get something down in this area, he could jump off a cliff and, because there's no fall damage or anything like that, go do whatever he was doing But to get back into his base, you know, you had to go all the way over here and then go up and maneuver through all these caves and community, all this crazy stuff. So I wanted a base that had ground level access, whether it's sand bike or buggy, and was close to the Mosquerite so I could kill them at will. And it worked out well. I'm not completely dedicated to this spot. This is where I built. This is where it fits. So even if the new server we were going to, this wasn't an option, I'd be okay. And plus this base is pretty level, so it fits in most level spots. I can kind of maneuver it around. One thing that bothers me is you'll see here, because of the slope of the sand, on this side I've got foundations and then I've got 1, 2, 3 walls. Whereas over here I've got foundation and 1, 2 walls. I had to build an extra set of walls. There's no, you know, that's the floor is correct inside, so from the inside it completely matches. But I try not to let it bother me, but it does. It's just the way I am. Oh, I'm not going to say what server we chose. Not yet, anyway. That'll be Monday. We'll do a little bit of excitement. All right, so hopefully we don't get a sandstorm while we're waiting to do this. We only got a minute left. A lot of space for one little guy. Also, one thing I want to point out, probably the most important part, is make sure you've got your base reconstruction tool in your backpack, because it ain't going to do you any good if you don't. We're going to put that on right now. Everything else looks great. Does it give me the timer now? Well, that sure is strange, isn't it? Okay, so it would appear as though there was a 26-minute difference in the time from when I backed up my base and deployed it and actually instituted the server transfer. So they are not synced up. And wow. Did I just hit that at exactly the right time? Yeah, I did. All right, so when you see this little picture and it says 1, that means that you have a transfer token. Once you use that, it takes 7 days to recharge. They do that to keep you from being able to bounce all over the place. So you could go to one server, then cause problems, go in, say a bunch of mean stuff, do all sorts of crazy stuff to people, and then just roll out and basically just leaving a path of chaos and destruction behind you. So you once you make that step, you're committed for a week. That's weird because I got 10 minutes left in this thing. I guess maybe it makes sense. But yeah, so this has a 7-day timer, and apparently almost went too far. There is a separate timer on your gun. Looks like it's also a 7-day timer, but you're going to transfer the server, and that server timer is going to start counting the minute you do it. This is going to start timing the minute you deploy your base. So apparently it took me about 24 minutes to fly over to the new place, get over to this area, get everything set up, and get this deployed. So now we got to wait 24 minutes. And I'm already packed up. I'll tell you what we're going to do, though. We're not going to give up. We are going to do one last mission here on Odin. Because I want me some skill points. And that might... We're not going to have enough. We got to do 2. Well, if we do 2, that'll definitely take us over the time limit. So, why not, right? Because I would like to show you guys that, at least. This is Blushing Caverns. That timer means nothing, apparently. Only once the server merges begin. For now, you have to use tickets irrespective with your server is locked. Yeah. It's just like going to the airport. Yeah, the servers aren't locked yet. They may have locked them, but they're not locked. It's terminology. Once they determine that a server is going to be closed, that's when it's going to matter. We'll get this done quick, and then we'll see what else. We'll put it there. Why not? We'll get some points. I don't think little old me is going to get on the board. Probably could if I was a Harkonnen. But we got time to do a mission. Not going to pick up anything. I don't need to fill my backpack up. There's really not that much on the cave. The Blushing Caverns. That will be so cool as to bring home. The only foreseeable issue I have is if it replaces once I complete this mission, it's going to give me another option to replace it. And the options are going to be to go to the Taiki, which is the down ship, which means I need radiation protection, which I have, but the issue there is I can't go there and not grab all that irradiated slag and the steel plating. Oh, it's awesome. So that's going to be stuff in my backpack, which I don't want to do. Or it will give me a mission to do kill some sandflies. If that happens, that'll be great because I can do that without picking anything up. "24 minutes from now, that'll put us at about a quarter after. We'll extend it. We'll extend it. You just cancel the Taiki missions? Oh man, they're awesome to do. Well, if I get it, I'll do it. I've said this before. If you get this where it says you're in queue and it says allocating, if you just wait it out, it'll take a little while. If you cancel and go back in, it usually goes right in. I just wait. Hooray. A little too soon. Did not get the height I wanted. We're going to bounce off the wall. Boop. So there was a thing that's been happening that people have been dropping stuff. Like, you know, people drop stuff in these missions. I do. And it shows up on other people's games. So, like this right here. I'm good. This guy picked up some metal. Probably he's doing the car mission and picked up a bunch of this stuff and just dumping it. But yeah, this is a little poopy issue that just showed up. Goodbye. How many more are there? Oh, there you are. I just saw you as I fell. Now all his friends are dead and he went behind. Never seen him go that far up. Oh, that poison hurts, don't it? You never got a shot off, man. I gotta feel bad. Normally I take them from range up here, but you know what? Feeling saucy. Get a guy charging you, you run, let them do that swing, and you should be able to stab his friend. Immediately dodge or get out of the way. Come on. There'd be one more. Where do you think he is? One more besides Leon. Normally there's two down here, but I don't see them. Alright, let's just go kill Leon. Maybe he's up here with Leon. He is not. Don't like that because I definitely got away. Oh. You can stop. See, I got away that time. Alright, I guess it counted. Usually have trouble dodging that blast from these guys. But these guys alone, any other gunner or torch person, I can do it pretty easily. Again, too soon. Let's do a claw, right? Viper's taking shots? Good on you. And now we return to the ornithopter. So usually I see the little spare bags that are crossing over. I see them at the thopter. Not up at that point. I guess it could be anywhere, but whatever. Let's see if there's one over here. Boop. Alright. Yep, we got one more to do in combat. Nope. The water thing. I got a liter John full on 5. I can't be bothered to drink their water. I shall drink my own. Never got used to that. Got my spike hilt, and I think it's better than grade 5 Hallex pick. Mine is a 3. A grade 3 Hallex pick. I have not gotten a 5 on that yet. That's part RNG, and that's also part I need to go do the things to get those. But if you're going to speed run through missions, always make sure before you leave, cancel. Like if you run up here and it says, "Oh, do you want to get in the thopter?" Say no, and you can back away, and then you can select the next mission. Most people probably do that, but it's the heart of the matter, which is going to take us to the Taiki. I'm going to go ahead and do it. So for this, I have just a regular old Mark 6, half beaten up radiation suit. Put that on, make use of the personal light. I've done this mission a whole bunch of times, so it's just kind of second nature on it, but we'll go in here and do it real quick. Like a bunny, because we're a rabbit. I used to do the shoal runs all the time to get irradiated slag for the generators. And that was cool. But once they created this overland map, this wreck of the Taiki, Greek goddess. So Taiki is the Greek pronunciation, thus I shall use it. Does two things. Number one, well, three things now. Number one, it gives you a bunch of irradiated slag because it's a ship, so it's cool. So it's great. I haven't had to go back to Shoal since this overland location, and I'm actually getting ahead of it. It's weird. I gotta. Yeah, it's on there too. Oh, it's probably up in the top corner, top right. there's part of the topography. And I'm sitting here waiting for this to go, and I look up and I'll be like, what the hell is that? Because from where I'm looking at it, it looks like a crack. I'm sitting here touching it when carnies flirt. But anyway, so that's one thing that you get from the Taiki. The second thing is, you ever need plant fiber, this is the place to go. Holy cow, there's so much plant fiber outside. I don't know if that was a dev making the map doing it or what. But there's plant fiber everywhere. And the third thing, and I think it's because I've reached the either crafting or gathering or exploration, one of the skills to where there's bonus items in the chests. I'm now getting tons of plasteel plates, which is really good. The only place you can get them reliably is in the shipwrecks that are out in the deep desert. I guess technically it considers this part of like a deep desert thing. It didn't used to be that way, and it happened right around the same time that I got that that skill. So I'm not sure if the skill is what's giving me all the plasteel plates, or if they just made a change. But we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and bring the light on, and we'll just do this. And we'll do this. Not get a good run at it. Usually what I'll do, in fact, we might still be able to do it. Heck, I got time. No. No. Normally there's 3 missions that you can run, and I don't have any of them. I could cancel. So if you don't want to do a mission, if you click on it and then hit cancel, and it gave me Smuggler's Run. So it doesn't matter. I was hoping it would come up there. I usually do 3 of these missions together at the same time. It's just super efficient. But we're going to just chug on up here. There's usually 2 fellas that want to die. Quick stabs, and we'll turn to engage. Oh, you just let them die. Oh, here you are. Ugh. Okay. So this box here. So see, you usually get this, which is great. But yeah, I've been getting tons of plasteel plate. Tons of it. And I'll go ahead and take that. I don't really need these, so I don't want to grab them. I just got to remember I have them in my backpack for when we leave. So normally when I'm doing the 3 missions, I have to run over here and do stuff. I'm only doing the 1 right now, so it's going to make me go over here. I need that band. It's on the crate. I just passed it up, but I don't want to try to grab it because these guys are going to kill me if I do. I think you're going to throw a grenade at me. Let's see what's in this box. Again, steel plates, man. I don't know if that was me or if that was... Hi! Yep, okay. But I need this thing. Then we got to go up here. Now, when we go inside of this room, this is still radiation. So we're still building up. We're taking everything for some reason. Okay. When you pick that up, it respawns some enemies. Aw. That was some distance. Alright, next phase of this mission is this little thing right here. I'm going to go ahead and hit that. But if you're doing more than one, and you're a little concerned about the radiation level, or let's say you don't have that good of a radiation suit, if you cut array these boxes, try to leave the game the whole time, you'll notice here my radiation decreased. This is kind of a reset room. so you can dial it back if you're spending a lot of time and you haven't been through these all that often, so it's taking a little bit to get used to it. There's at least one good box in here. 14, I'll take that. That's awesome. Looks like we got somebody left. Cool. We were talking in my Discord with my guild about this, and somebody said they did a mission and there was a grade 3 ancient way laying on the ground. I think it was a level 1 dungeon they did. And there was a grade 3 laying on the ground. He gets a grade 3. I get 15 scrap metal. And that's not the first time scrap metal has shown up in this. Okay, so we're not radioactive anymore. After you hit that button, then we have to go in here. And we're going to kill this guy. Oh. That's pretty nifty. The issue here is there's 2 snipers. Well, there's 1 sniper right now. I don't know why I couldn't do that. Then we got this guy up here. Thank you. Nope. Okay. No plasteel plates, but still some irradiated slag. Now, once we open up these 2 chests, this is the first one, and then this one will be the next one. That technically ends the mission, and we could get out of here, but it's going to respawn bad guys. I don't really want to... No, we'll just boogie on out. We don't need to really worry about anything else in here. Takes a while to get used to the layout of it. The ships are confusing, especially since your only real practice is going to be a deep desert ship, and you might be a little concerned about getting jumped or engaging with somebody else. So I can understand. It took me a while to get used to the ships as well. I was kind of surprised that this is the exact same layout, come on, as the deep desert ships. But, I mean, I'm not going to get too critical on them. I knew that wasn't going to work. I knew it. Knew it in my heart. Could have been over there by now if I'd have just done it legit, right? Ooh, we got some good lift there. There we are. Nothing laying on the ground, unfortunately. I'll go ahead and cancel this. And then we'll put on our regular clothing. But yeah, once you get in there and investigate a little bit, it's not too it's not too bad. The Taiki, I actually kind of have fun. I usually pair up 3 of those missions together and then go running in there. Come out with, I mean, single mission, I could have gone further in. 25 irradiated slag and 37 plate. I'll take it. Oh, I'm too close. This is where I've seen a bunch of the things people drop, the accidentals. 2 missions. Was that 24 minutes? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. We'll see. Yeah, now it's a good idea to do dungeons so you can pick up dead people's loot. Is it dead people or is it just stuff that they dropped? Be surprised if somebody died and the only thing they had on them was 15 slag. I don't know, maybe. All right. Not gonna say anything. Over the course of the next couple weeks, I'm gonna find a quiet spot that's still kind of a good spot, and I want to work on. Well, first I'm gonna work on overheating because I'm not paying attention. But I want to work on. This base is pretty. It's got some flair to it, but it's more based on just efficiency and suiting my needs. I want to work on one of those really super awesome, impressive bases. One of those things that looks badass. We're going to be doing that over the next couple weeks. I'm going to go ahead and just dump all this stuff into the dump box again. Get my inventory back where I need it to be. And let's see. Since we're here, keep a little bit of spice melange in this box right there. We'll take it. Drop out. And we should have gotten enough to buy ourselves a skill point. Very important to remember to put the spice melange back. Okay. Yep, we're good. All right, okay. And a tractor field. And I got 2 points left over. I'll drop the knee charge. I use the knee charge too often. So just in case I'm creating a reliance on that, we're going to drop that off. I wonder how many times I'm going to throw in a tractor field on something when I'm trying to knee charge it. That's going to be hilarious. That's a blooper reel, and it will make sense to anybody who doesn't watch it. I guarantee it's going to happen unbelievably. We're definitely setting ourselves up to do much more dungeon boss fighting. Something I need desperately to start doing. Okay, what do you think, guys? That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. Why am I getting bad music? I'm not getting chased off this server in a sandstorm. Okay, there we are. So, once you've got all your vehicles broken down, your backpack's right where you want it, I've got plenty of water on me, got plenty of supplies, and I know where I'm going. The only thing left to do is to back this up. So I'm about to back up my base. If you do this, the base will be fully removed from the world, which includes the subfield console, all placeables, and all building pieces inside the structure. Do you want to continue? Vehicles will not be included in this, so remember we broke them down, stuck them in a box with some fuel cells. I'm good with it. And there it goes. So now, I guess I could place it right back on the ground if I wanted to. But the X on here says toggle on snap to origin. If you hit that, it immediately places it. Like right now, I'm actually like way up in the air based on where it could or couldn't be. And that is going down too far. Destroy base backup. What the hell? Why would you have toggle on snap and destroy base backup on the same damn key? Come on. Anyway, the toggle snap onto original, that's the way to go. That's the way I did it. But as you can see, the base is gone. Looks like that sandstorm is actually going to miss us. Once you have that base stored, everything is set. We're going to do this. And now it's just little old me with no home and no anything. And we are now officially going to say goodbye to Odin server. I had a great time here. And don't place it back down. You have to wait a week. Yeah, I'll be stuck here again. But I had a great time here. This is a really good server. Can't recommend it enough if you're looking for a true to form of what the game's supposed to be. PvE content, people that'll help you out. And if you want to get into some fighting, there's some fighting that you can do. Great server. Odin, check it out. East Coast, in case you need a place to go in the future coming days when they shut it down. I may come back every now and then, drop in just to say hi and see how things are going. But for now, I have to go where the guild says to go. And we are going to do that now. So thank you very much, folks, for watching. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I had a bad week personally, real life. We'll get on the videos, one about the market, another one about PvP. The PvP one was the one I put the most effort in, and it just kept not making any sense. It needs more attention than I was trying to give it. So I definitely have to do some extended work on that. But hopefully over the next couple days, and work is going to start getting worse and worse. It's going to be a little more involved every day. But I'll get the time in there to get things going. So thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share. Those things all help the channel grow. And we're going to head to, got to touch base, get on Discord with the guild, make sure everybody's there. Get somebody kicked out of the spot I'm supposed to be in. And then come Monday, we'll have more info of where we're going and what we're doing. So thank you very much. And as always, I'll see you out there. Take care.